It's shocking to know that Forrest Gump has been around for 3 decades, but still contains many secrets that most of its fans don't know. Scenes that seemed real turned out to use special effects to deceive the audience, or the iconic sayings that make up Forrest Gump's own brand turn out to be stolen from another famous person's saying. Speaking of which, how confident are you about your understanding of Forrest Gump? Don't be stubborn. Watch this video until the end to know the whole truth about Forrest Gump. Let's start with an interesting fact about Bubba Gump. He is a fellow soldier and shrimp enthusiast who dreams of owning a successful shrimping business after their service in the Vietnam War. His ambition is clear throughout the film, as he passionately talks about the different ways to cook shrimp and his plans for the future. Tragically, Bubba dies during combat, leaving Forrest devastated by the loss of his friend. Despite this heartbreaking setback, Forrest makes a promise to Bubba that he will carry on their dream. True to his word, Forrest Gump eventually fulfills Bubba's dream by establishing the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. This fictional venture becomes a pivotal part of Forrest's post-war life, showcasing his determination and loyalty to his fallen friend. The restaurant business, centered around shrimp dishes inspired by Bubba's extensive knowledge and love for shrimp, not only becomes a successful enterprise within the film, but also serves as a symbolic tribute to Bubba's memory and the enduring power of friendship. In real life, the concept of the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company transcended the film's narrative and became a reality. The Bubba Gump Shrimp Company restaurants, inspired by the fictional establishment in the movie, were established in various locations around the world. Today, visitors can experience the charm and nostalgia of Forrest Gump by dining at Bubba Gump Shrimp Company locations in the United States, China, Japan, Mexico, Malaysia, and other countries. You will never know this. The scene in Forrest Gump, where Forrest receives the Medal of Honor for bravery in the Vietnam War, is one of the pivotal moments in the film, showcasing the unexpected and extraordinary events that shape Forrest's life. This scene, however, is notable not only for its narrative impact, but also for its unique use of historical footage. Forrest Gump, portrayed by Tom Hanks, is depicted as a humble and unassuming character who unwittingly finds himself in extraordinary situations throughout his life. One of these moments occurs during his military service in Vietnam, where Forrest's acts of courage on the battlefield earned him the Medal of Honor, the highest military decoration awarded by the United States government. In the film, the scene where Forrest receives the Medal of Honor is visually striking and emotionally resonant. Forrest stands before a crowd, dressed in his military uniform, as a ceremony unfolds to honor his bravery. The scene captures the solemnity and significance of the occasion, highlighting Forrest's humility in the face of recognition for his heroic actions. What makes this scene particularly intriguing is the use of real historical footage to depict Forrest receiving the Medal of Honor. The footage used in the film is from the actual 1968 ceremony, where Sammy L. Davis, a real-life Medal of Honor recipient, was honored for his service during the Vietnam War. Davis received the Medal of Honor for his extraordinary bravery and selflessness under fire during the Battle of Firebase Cudgel. To seamlessly integrate Tom Hanks's portrayal of Forrest Gump into this historical moment, the filmmakers employed a technique known as digital compositing. They superimposed Hanks's face onto the body of Sammy L. Davis, ensuring that Forrest's fictional journey intersected with a real-life event in a visually convincing manner. Besides, filming war scenes, especially those set in Vietnam, presents significant challenges due to the need for authenticity, safety concerns, and logistical complexities. Forrest Gump, directed by Robert Zemeckis and released in 1994, tackled these challenges ingeniously by opting not to shoot on location in Vietnam, but instead using creative methods to achieve a realistic portrayal of wartime settings. One of the most iconic aspects of Forrest Gump is its depiction of Forrest's experiences during the Vietnam War. These scenes are pivotal in shaping Forrest's character and the narrative's exploration of historical events. Despite not traveling overseas to film in Vietnam, the production team meticulously recreated the jungle environments and battle sequences crucial to the storyline. The decision to film war scenes on Fripp Island, located off the coast of South Carolina, was both practical and strategic. Fripp Island offered diverse landscapes that could be transformed to resemble the dense jungles and swampy terrains of Vietnam. The filmmakers utilized the island's natural features, such as its lush vegetation and marshy areas, as a backdrop for the Vietnam sequences. To enhance the realism of the setting, the production employed extensive use of CGI, computer-generated imagery. CGI technology was instrumental in creating the illusion of dense jungle environments, reedy swamps, and wartime landscapes that authentically replicated the atmosphere of Vietnam. Through CGI, the filmmakers could digitally augment the natural scenery of Fripp Island, adding elements like palm trees, bamboo thickets, and misty atmospherics to evoke the ambiance of Southeast Asian jungles. If you are a fan of Forrest Gump, you need to know this. The portrayal of Jenny's death in this film remains a poignant and debated aspect of the film, drawing significant attention due to its timing amidst the AIDS crisis in the United States during the 1980s and early 1990s. Jenny Curran, portrayed by Robin Wright, is a central character in Forrest Gump's life, and her death marks a crucial moment in the narrative's exploration of love, loss, and the impact of historical events. Throughout the film, Jenny's character undergoes a tumultuous journey defined by personal struggles, including childhood abuse, turbulent relationships, and a period of insidious white powder addiction. Her complex storyline intersects with Forrest Gump's own experiences, creating a narrative tapestry that spans decades and reflects the societal upheavals of the latter half of the 20th century. The specifics of Jenny's death are pivotal to understanding her character's arc and the thematic undercurrents of the film. According to the film's narrative, Jenny dies of an unspecified virus 2 years after marrying Forrest Gump. The scene depicting her death is emotionally charged, depicting Forrest as a devoted husband who lovingly cares for Jenny until her final moments. The ambiguity surrounding the cause of her death invites interpretation and speculation, particularly in light of the film's historical context. At the time of the film's release in 1994, the AIDS epidemic had profoundly impacted American society, leading to widespread fear, stigma, and loss. Many viewers interpreted Jenny's death as a reflection of this crisis, assuming she succumbed to AIDS due to her history of insidious white powder use and promiscuity. The portrayal of Jenny's illness and death against the backdrop of the AIDS epidemic resonated with audiences, underscoring the film's exploration of societal issues and personal tragedies. However, it is crucial to note that the film's narrative intentions regarding Jenny's death differ from the assumptions made by viewers. Winston Groom, the author of the original novel Forrest Gump, intended for Jenny to die from hepatitis C, a consequence of her intravenous insidious white powder use. In Groom's novel, which differs in several respects from the film adaptation, Jenny's death is explicitly linked to her past struggles with addiction and the health risks associated with intravenous insidious white powder use. There is a special detail that many people miss, or even don't know. Tom Hanks's portrayal of Forrest Gump in the 1994 film of the same name is widely acclaimed, not only for his nuanced performance, but also for his dedicated approach to mastering the character's distinct accent. Set against the backdrop of the American South, Forrest Gump's accent is crucial to authentically capturing the character's upbringing and personality. For Tom Hanks, embodying Forrest Gump meant delving into the nuances of a Southern accent that resonated with authenticity. To achieve this, Hanks drew inspiration from his youngest co-star on set, Michael Connor Humphreys, who portrayed young Forrest Gump in the film. Humphreys, a native of Mississippi, naturally possessed the Southern drawl that Hanks aimed to emulate for his adult portrayal of Forrest. Hanks's decision to model his accent after Humphrey's natural speech patterns was a strategic choice, rooted in authenticity and realism. By observing and mimicking Humphrey's accent, Hanks was able to infuse Forrest Gump's character with a genuine Southern charm and cadence that resonated with audiences. Michael Connor Humphrey's performance as young Forrest Gump was instrumental not only in shaping Hanks's portrayal, but also in earning him recognition for his own acting ability. Humphrey's portrayal of the young, innocent Forrest garnered acclaim, culminating in a Young Artist Award for Best Performance by a young actor in a supporting role. His natural delivery and Southern accent laid the foundation for Hanks to seamlessly transition into portraying the adult Forrest Gump with consistency and authenticity. In the iconic film Forrest Gump, Lieutenant Dan Taylor, portrayed by Gary Sinise, is a character whose journey deeply resonates with audiences. One of the most striking and memorable aspects of his portrayal is the realistic depiction of his character's severe war injuries, particularly the loss of his legs. Achieving this realistic portrayal required a blend of innovative filmmaking techniques and groundbreaking special effects, which were particularly impressive given the film's release in 1994. The story of Lieutenant Dan is one of profound transformation. Initially introduced as a tough, no-nonsense officer leading his men in the Vietnam War, Dan's life takes a dramatic turn when he is severely wounded in combat. The loss of his legs becomes a central part of his character's arc, symbolizing not only his physical struggles but also his emotional and psychological battles. For Gary Sinise, portraying this character meant embodying these complex layers while also convincingly appearing as a double amputee. To create the illusion of Lieutenant Dan's amputations, the filmmakers employed a combination of practical effects and computer-generated imagery, CGI. During the scenes where Lieutenant Dan is shown without his legs, Gary Sinise wears blue fabric around his lower legs. This fabric acted as a chroma key, similar to the blue or green screens used in filmmaking, which allowed the special effects team to digitally remove his legs in post-production. The blue fabric was carefully wrapped and positioned to ensure that it would blend seamlessly with the digital effects. One interesting detail is about Bubba's fake lips. Mykelti Williamson, a talented actor with a diverse range of roles in his repertoire, did not naturally have the pronounced lower lip that became synonymous with Bubba. To achieve the desired look, the film's makeup and special effects team designed a prosthetic lip that Williamson would wear during filming. This was no small feat. Creating a realistic and functional prosthetic that could withstand the rigors of filming while allowing the actor to perform naturally required significant skill and effort. The process of designing the prosthetic lip began with detailed research and planning. The makeup team needed to ensure that the prosthetic would seamlessly blend with Williamson's natural features, avoiding any visible lines or discrepancies that could detract from the character's realism. They also had to consider the practical aspects of wearing the prosthetic. It had to be comfortable enough for Williamson to wear for extended periods, and it needed to allow him full freedom of movement for speaking, eating, and emoting. Crafting the prosthetic involved creating a mold of Williamson's lower face, which served as the base for the custom-fit piece. This mold allowed the team to design a prosthetic that would fit snugly and move naturally with Williamson's own lip movements. The prosthetic was made from high-quality materials that mimicked the texture and flexibility of real skin, ensuring that it would look convincing on camera. Once the initial design was complete, the team went through several iterations to perfect the look and functionality of the prosthetic. This trial-and-error process involved applying the prosthetic, testing it in various lighting conditions, and observing how it behaved during different facial movements. Each iteration brought them closer to a final product that met their high standards for realism and practicality. In the film Forrest Gump, Tom Hanks's portrayal of the titular character is filled with memorable lines and heartfelt moments that have left an indelible mark on cinematic history. One such line that stands out is Forrest's simple introduction. "My name is Forrest Gump. People call me Forrest Gump." This line, though seemingly straightforward, encapsulates the essence of Forrest's character, his innocence, honesty, and straightforward nature. Interestingly, this iconic line was not part of the original script, but was improvised by Tom Hanks and went on to be used throughout the entire movie. The genesis of this memorable line can be traced back to Tom Hanks's deep understanding and embodiment of Forrest Gump's character. Hanks, known for his meticulous approach to acting, often delves into the psyche of his characters, bringing a sense of authenticity and relatability to his roles. In the case of Forrest Gump, Hanks's portrayal hinged on conveying a sense of genuine simplicity and an unwavering straightforwardness, traits that defined Forrest's interactions with the world around him. During the filming process, Hanks found moments to inject his own creativity and understanding of the character into the scenes. The line, "My name is Forrest Gump. People call me Forrest Gump," emerged spontaneously during one of these moments. Hanks's improvisation was rooted in the idea that Forrest, in his unpretentious and literal-minded way, would introduce himself in such a manner. It was a natural extension of the character's personality. Forrest, who takes things at face value and sees the world through a lens of unembellished truth, would likely introduce himself by reiterating his full name, just as he hears others call him. Director Robert Zemeckis and the production team recognized the brilliance of this unscripted moment. Hanks's delivery was not just humorous, but also deeply aligned with the character's persona. This line quickly became a hallmark of Forrest's dialogue, making its way into several scenes throughout the film. It served as a recurring motif that highlighted Forrest's consistency and simplicity, traits that stood in stark contrast to the complexities of the world he navigated. The film Forrest Gump also is widely celebrated for Tom Hanks's iconic portrayal of the titular character, but Hanks wasn't the only actor considered for the role. The casting process for Forrest Gump included several prominent names in Hollywood, each bringing a different potential flavor to the character. Notably, John Travolta, Bill Murray, and Chevy Chase were all offered the role but declined, leading to a fascinating what-if scenario in the film industry. John Travolta, known for his roles in Grease and Saturday Night Fever, was among the first actors considered for the part of Forrest Gump. Travolta, who was experiencing a resurgence in his career during the early 1990s, thanks to films like Pulp Fiction, turned down the role. In retrospect, Travolta has expressed regret over this decision. He has publicly stated that turning down the role of Forrest Gump is one of his biggest professional regrets, often mentioning that he is still kicking himself for not accepting the part. Travolta's involvement would have brought a different energy to the character, potentially altering the film's tone and reception. Bill Murray, renowned for his dry wit and comedic timing in films like Ghostbusters and Groundhog Day, was another actor approached for the role. Murray's unique comedic style and ability to convey a wide range of emotions could have provided a different interpretation of Forrest Gump. While it's intriguing to imagine how Murray might have tackled the role, he ultimately declined the offer. Murray's decision to pass on the role left an opportunity for another actor to bring Forrest to life, a decision that undoubtedly contributed to the film's eventual success with Hanks. Chevy Chase, another comedic heavyweight known for his work on Saturday Night Live and in the National Lampoon series, was also in consideration for Forrest Gump. Chase's distinctive humor and charisma might have led to a more overtly comedic portrayal of Forrest, potentially shifting the film's balance between comedy and drama. Chase's choice to turn down the role further opened the door for Hanks, who brought a nuanced blend of humor, innocence, and emotional depth to the character. Each of these actors, Travolta, Murray, and Chase, brought their own unique style and screen presence, which would have significantly impacted the film's portrayal of Forrest Gump. The role required an actor who could embody Forrest's simplicity, honesty, and earnestness while navigating the character's extraordinary life journey. Tom Hanks, with his ability to convey a wide range of emotions and his inherent likability, ultimately proved to be the perfect fit for the role. There is another exciting truth. The scene where young Forrest boards the bus for the first time and struggles to find a seat is both touching and pivotal. This moment introduces the audience to the themes of exclusion and acceptance that are central to Forrest's life story. As Forrest steps onto the bus, clutching his suitcase and braces clinking, he is met with indifference and rejection by the other children. Two kids specifically tell him that the seat next to them is taken, a painful experience for any child trying to fit in. What many viewers may not know is that these two children who initially rejected Forrest's request to sit next to them were not professional child actors. Instead, they had unique connections to the film's production. The boy who turns Forrest away is Alexander Zemeckis, the son of the film's director, Robert Zemeckis. The girl who similarly denies Forrest a seat is Elizabeth Hanks, the daughter of Tom Hanks, who plays the adult Forrest Gump. Many people don't know this, but a real-life event actually inspired the part of the movie Forrest Gump, where Forrest runs across the country after Jenny leaves. This heartwarming and inspiring segment of the film was based on the true story of Louis Michael Figueroa, a 16-year-old boy who made headlines in 1982 for his extraordinary cross-country run from New Jersey to San Francisco. His journey was more than just a physical feat. It was a mission to raise awareness for the American Cancer Society. Figueroa's journey began as a personal challenge and a way to contribute to a cause he deeply cared about. His run was driven by the desire to bring attention to cancer, a disease that affects millions of lives. Covering thousands of miles on foot, Figueroa's trek was not just about the distance he covered, but the message he spread along the way. His run inspired many, highlighting the power of determination and the impact one individual can have in raising awareness for important causes. In the film, Forrest Gump's cross-country run is a pivotal moment that captures the essence of the character's journey through life. After Jenny leaves, Forrest embarks on an unplanned and seemingly aimless run that spans the length and breadth of the United States. This segment of the film is visually stunning and emotionally resonant, symbolizing Forrest's search for meaning and his way of coping with loss. One of the most memorable lines from this part of the film is when Forrest says, "When I got tired, I slept. When I got hungry, I ate. And when I had to go to the bathroom, I went." These words, which encapsulate Forrest's simple and straightforward approach to life, were actually borrowed from Louis Figueroa. One of the lesser-known facts about the iconic film Forrest Gump is that the legendary actor Kurt Russell lent his voice to the movie. His contribution, however, went largely unnoticed by the general public because his role was uncredited. Kurt Russell provided the voice for the Elvis Presley impersonator who stays at the Gump household early in the film. The scene in question takes place during Forrest's childhood. A young Forrest is shown dancing awkwardly to Elvis Presley's Hound Dog in front of the man himself. This moment becomes a significant part of Forrest's life and, humorously, implies that Forrest's unique dance moves inspired Elvis's famous gyrations. The scene is both heartwarming and humorous, setting the tone for the many whimsical and serendipitous encounters Forrest will have throughout the movie. Elvis Presley, known as the King of Rock and Roll, was an icon whose influence spanned the globe. Having a character as significant as Elvis appear in Forrest's early life adds a layer of charm and historical richness to the narrative. Given Elvis's stature, it was crucial for the filmmakers to ensure that his depiction, even as a fleeting character, felt authentic and respectful. This is where Kurt Russell's contribution becomes noteworthy. Kurt Russell's involvement in Forrest Gump is a fascinating trivia tidbit for several reasons. Firstly, Russell himself had previously portrayed Elvis Presley in the 1979 television movie Elvis, directed by John Carpenter. His performance in that film was highly praised and is still remembered as one of the better portrayals of Elvis. Russell's ability to capture Elvis's voice and mannerisms made him an excellent choice for the voiceover in Forrest Gump, even if it was just a brief, uncredited role. You might not know this. Haley Joel Osment, best known for his iconic role in The Sixth Sense, had a memorable part in the film Forrest Gump as well. He played Forrest Gump Jr., the son of the titular character portrayed by Tom Hanks. Despite being just a 4-year-old at the time of filming, Osment's performance was endearing and left a lasting impression on audiences. His character added a poignant layer to the story, symbolizing a new chapter in Forrest's life, filled with hope and continuity. Years later, at the American Film Institute, AFI Lifetime Achievement Award ceremony honoring Tom Hanks, Osment shared an amusing anecdote that highlighted the innocence and naivety of his younger self. During his speech, Osment confessed that, as a child, he genuinely believed he had the lead role in Forrest Gump, rather than Tom Hanks. This revelation brought a wave of laughter and nostalgia to those present, including Hanks himself. This misunderstanding is both humorous and endearing, reflecting the world through the eyes of a young child. At the tender age of 4, the concept of film hierarchies and the distinction between lead and supporting roles would naturally be lost on Osment. To him, the experience of being on set and playing such an important character in Forrest's life made him feel central to the story. It's a testament to the immersive and supportive environment created by the filmmakers and the cast, where even the youngest actors felt significant and integral to the project. Besides, in Forrest Gump, one of the most iconic and memorable aspects of the film is the extensive running that the titular character undertakes. From running across Alabama to traversing the entire United States, Forrest's journey on foot is not only a pivotal plot element, but also a symbol of his perseverance and simplicity. This narrative required an immense amount of running scenes, which posed a significant challenge for Tom Hanks, who portrayed Forrest Gump. To manage the demanding physical requirements of these scenes, the filmmakers made a practical decision. They enlisted the help of Tom Hanks's younger brother, Jim Hanks. Jim, who bore a striking resemblance to Tom and was an experienced runner, stepped in to perform many of the long-distance running scenes. This decision was not only a clever use of resources, but also ensured that Tom Hanks could maintain his energy and focus for the more nuanced and dramatic aspects of his performance. Jim Hanks, a runner by nature, was well suited for this task. His endurance and running skills allowed him to seamlessly blend into the role, making it nearly impossible for audiences to distinguish between him and his famous brother. The use of Jim for these physically strenuous scenes was a testament to the collaborative spirit of filmmaking and the willingness to utilize all available resources to achieve the best possible outcome. The last interesting thing, one of the most poignant and memorable scenes in Forrest Gump, takes place on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. In this scene, Forrest Gump, played by Tom Hanks, finds himself inadvertently thrust into the spotlight during a Vietnam War protest rally. As he steps up to the microphone to deliver a speech, technical difficulties ensue, and the microphone cuts out, rendering his words inaudible to the massive crowd assembled before him and to the audience watching the film. This moment, steeped in historical and emotional significance, leaves viewers wondering what Forrest might have said during this pivotal scene. While the film leaves Forrest's speech unheard, the original script provides clarity on the words he intended to share. Forrest's speech is a simple yet profound reflection on the harrowing experiences of soldiers in the Vietnam War. He says, "Sometimes when people go to Vietnam, they go home to their mamas without any legs. Sometimes they don't go home at all. That's a bad thing. That's all I have to say about that." Forrest's speech, had it been heard, would have encapsulated the devastating and often unspoken realities of war in a manner that is characteristically straightforward and heartfelt. His words, stripped of any political rhetoric or complex analysis, convey the stark and brutal consequences of the conflict. Forrest's unique perspective, grounded in his own experiences as a soldier in Vietnam, lends authenticity and emotional weight to his message. The decision to cut the audio during Forrest's speech serves multiple narrative and thematic purposes within the film. Firstly, it underscores the chaotic and unpredictable nature of the historical events depicted. The anti-war movement of the 1960s and 1970s was marked by passionate protests, government crackdowns, and moments of confusion and turmoil. The technical glitch during Forrest's speech mirrors this historical tumult, highlighting the disarray and unpredictability of the era. What do you think about these interesting secrets that most people don't know about Forrest Gump? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.